on March 13th, 14th, 2025. Mark your calendars, because skywatchers all across North and South America will be treated to one of the most breathtaking celestial events you can witness, a total lunar eclipse, or as many like to call it, the blood moon. This isn't your average full moon. During this rare event, the moon will slip into Earth's shadow, turning an eerie red and lighting up the night sky in ways you've never seen before. It's an awe-inspiring spectacle that has been capturing the imagination of skywatchers for centuries, and it's happening again. This time it's longer, brighter, and definitely worth staying up late for. But wait, before you grab your blanket and telescope, let's take a closer look at what makes this event so special. Why does the moon turn red during a lunar eclipse? What exactly is happening as the moon moves through Earth's shadow? And what should you expect during this event? Stick around, because in the next few minutes, we'll not only explain the science behind this cosmic show, but we'll also give you all the tips you need to enjoy it to the fullest. Whether you're a seasoned skywatcher or a curious newcomer, this total lunar eclipse promises to be an unforgettable experience. So, let's dive in. Before we can talk about the magic of the blood moon, let's break down the science behind a total lunar eclipse. So, what exactly happens during this event? Well, the moon will pass completely into Earth's umbra, the darkest part of its shadow. For that to happen, the sun, Earth, and moon all need to align perfectly in a straight line. And that's not as easy as it sounds. This precise alignment only happens during a full moon, which is when the moon, Earth, and sun are all lined up. But here's the catch. This alignment doesn't happen every month. The moon's orbit is tilted at about 5 degrees relative to Earth's orbit around the sun, which means the moon usually passes either above or below Earth's shadow. Only when all the elements align just right will we see a total lunar eclipse. So, it's not a super common event. In fact, you may not see another total lunar eclipse for a while. When it does happen, though, it's a treat for all of us who enjoy the wonders of space. Unlike a solar eclipse, which can only be seen from a specific part of the world, a lunar eclipse is visible from anywhere on Earth, where the moon is above the horizon at the time. That means no matter where you are, whether you're in North America, South America, or even Europe, if you have clear skies, you'll be able to witness this stunning event. So, unlike a solar eclipse, which requires special glasses, you don't need any protective gear to safely view the lunar eclipse. All you need is a good spot to observe the night sky. Now, let's talk about the stages of the eclipse. It's not just one moment of totality. It's an entire sequence of events that takes place over a few hours, and it's all going to happen right before your eyes. The first phase is called the penumbral eclipse. This is when the moon enters Earth's penumbra, the outer part of its shadow. The penumbra is a dimmer, lighter shadow compared to the umbra. During this phase, you might notice a slight dimming of the moon's brightness, but it's often so subtle that it can be hard to detect with the naked eye. But don't blink, because things start getting interesting as the moon moves into the umbra, the darker, inner part of Earth's shadow. A dark shadow will creep across the moon, and soon, it will appear as though the moon is slowly disappearing into the Earth's shadow. As the shadow deepens, you'll notice a dramatic contrast. The moon begins to look darker and darker, and the edges will be sharply defined. It's truly a stunning sight as you watch the moon slowly become engulfed in shadow. And now, we reach the most exciting phase of the eclipse. Totality. This is the moment when the entire moon is fully immersed in Earth's umbra. And what happens next is nothing short of magical. As the moon is completely covered by Earth's shadow, something amazing happens. The moon glows red. But why? This is what people mean when they talk about the blood moon. The red hue isn't from the moon itself. It's the sunlight bending through Earth's atmosphere, a process called Rayleigh scattering. When sunlight passes through Earth's atmosphere, shorter wavelengths, like blue and green, are scattered in all directions, while the longer wavelengths, like red and orange, are refracted around the Earth and projected onto the moon. This creates that famous red glow. Depending on the amount of dust, pollution, or volcanic ash in Earth's atmosphere at the time, the moon can look anywhere from a bright orange to a deep, dark red. And this is what makes each lunar eclipse so unique. No two blood moons look exactly the same. Imagine for a moment that you were standing on the moon during this eclipse. Instead of a dark sky, you'd be looking at a deep red Earth surrounded by a glowing ring of sunrises and sunsets. That's right. Every sunset and sunrise happening on Earth at the same time would be projected onto the moon's surface, making the Earth look like it's glowing. It's truly one of the most surreal and breathtaking sights you could ever experience. Meanwhile, as the moon enters Earth's shadow, the temperature on its surface would drop dramatically. From temperatures of over 200 EF and 105 C in sunlight, the temperature could plummet to below 100 degrees to 73 Celsius in the darkness of the shadow. This extreme temperature change can cause tiny cracks to form on the moon's surface as the rocks expand and contract. Now that we know what's happening, let's take a look at the timing of this event. The eclipse will take place on March 14th, with the penumbral phase starting at 3:57 a.m. GMT or 11:07 p.m. EDT on March 13th. This is when the moon enters the lighter, outer part of Earth's shadow, and you'll see that subtle dimming. The partial eclipse begins at 1:09 a.m. EDT, when the moon starts to slip into the darker shadow of Earth, and you'll see that bite taken out of the moon. Then, the showstopper totality begins at 2:26 a.m. EDT, and the moon will be fully engulfed in Earth's umbra, glowing in its eerie red hue. Totality will last for a stunning 65 minutes until 3:31 a.m. EDT, so be sure to have your eyes on the sky for that prime time. The entire eclipse will conclude at 6:00 a.m. EDT as the moon gradually moves out of Earth's shadow. But here's the thing. This eclipse isn't happening in isolation. As you're marveling at the moon, you'll also be able to spot two bright planets shining in the sky, Jupiter and Mars. Look towards the western horizon, and there they'll be, glowing brightly. You'll be able to see Jupiter first, as it sets a couple of hours after midnight. Then, a couple of hours later, Mars will set too. And for our friends in South America, don't forget to keep an eye out for meteors from the gamma-normed meteor shower, which will be peaking during the eclipse. While it's not the strongest meteor shower, you might still catch a few shooting stars lighting up the sky during totality. And this is just the beginning. After the March 14th lunar eclipse, there's more celestial excitement on the way. On March 29th, we'll be treated to a partial solar eclipse. While it won't be as dramatic as the lunar eclipse, it's still a fantastic opportunity to see the moon partially cover the sun, reaching up to 93% coverage at its peak. This solar eclipse will last almost 4 hours and will be visible from parts of the Americas, Europe, Africa, and Western Russia. But if you missed the March lunar eclipse, don't worry. The next total lunar eclipse is just around the corner in September 2025. This one will be even longer, with 1 hour and 22 minutes of totality. So you definitely don't want to miss it. Whether you're an experienced sky watcher or someone new to the wonders of space, this March 2025 total lunar eclipse is your chance to witness a rare and extraordinary celestial event. It's a reminder of how magnificent the universe is and how lucky we are to be able to witness these incredible moments. So, gather your friends, grab a blanket, and get ready to experience the blood moon like never before. Don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest space news and upcoming celestial events. There's so much more to explore in the night sky, and we can't wait to share it with you. Until next time, happy sky watching, and don't miss the chance to see this incredible blood moon.